there's some smiles there, so I'm feeling
It's
like there's been some like funny.
We're playing with it, so
yes,
like
yeah, just play with it. I think that the real.
Okay, well, welcome Josh and Tanisha from Bellwether Homes to the Watermark Watercooler. You guys are in a really competitive market, as you know, and you guys are one of the highest rated home service businesses in window siding and doors. Tell me a little bit about what you guys are doing and how business is going.
Yeah, well, I guess thank you. Thanks for having us. Business is going well. Like you said, we do full home exterior remodeling. So windows, siding, doors. We'll do roofing and decks as well. Usually those are add-on type projects when we're doing the full exterior.
Yeah.
This has been going well for us.
Obviously, you guys have expanded your services. You were a siding company primarily, and you added windows and doors, and now you're doing some other things.
Yes.
What made that, like, you add those services on?
Yeah, so we started the company in 2017 as Colorado Siding Repair. And that name lasted for a few years, but we grew really fast doing siding replacement. We would go out for siding repair calls so much. We were flooded with business, and so much of it would show up and realize you need full replacement. Talk to the homeowners about that, and it would turn into a full replacement job. So as we did more and more of those jobs, we had more and more customers asking us, can you do the windows at the same time? We were losing business by not offering windows. So we started offering windows, got into windows. And as our projects elevated and we grew and just got better and better, became more of like a reputational leader for that, type of product. We got to a place where we had maybe every fourth customer telling us at the end of the project, you should change your name. We almost didn't call you because you were Colorado Siding Repair. And we changed our name to Bellwether Homes. And with that same story, as we're doing a lot more windows and siding together, we started doing a lot more windows, just window jobs. And then we started getting, the question, can you do the deck as well? So I think the more of the big jobs that we do, where they are doing the windows, the siding, the deck, now they're asking, can we do the roof? The more of those we do, the more we realize, we needed to be able to offer the full envelope. But that got us thinking. So when we started thinking about it, we realized the approach that we were taking was to treat the whole home as a system. So instead of going in and thinking, I'm just replacing a component, I'm just taking siding off and putting new siding back on, we started thinking about, the whole envelope and the moisture management system from the roof down, to the siding, the windows, the flashing, everything. So now the way that we talk about that is going in and thinking about transforming how homes look, feel, and perform. Yeah, that's kind of what shifted in our minds, and where we started adding other services, other offerings.
Yeah, treating the whole home as what the exterior could be and should look like, maybe. Yeah, instead of it just being like one tiny piece of it, it's not all of it.
That's right. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, we felt like that serves the customer better,
Yeah,
and definitely serves the structure better.
Yeah.
So.
Your website has always been about thought leadership and education. How do you educate clients? How have you used that as your advantage? And then there's always this conversation of like being the race to the bottom of costs, and people doing that all the time. How have you used that kind of education piece to not be that?
On the website, it really is about informing people who are going out doing their research. Trying to stay informed. Another way I would talk about this is to say we don't participate in the race to the bottom for a couple of different reasons. We want to give homeowners the information they need to make the best, most educated decision for their home.
Yeah.
But also, I think there's this sort of hidden factor of you don't always know what you're getting until you buy it.
Mm-hmm.
So what we like to say is we talk about price comparison with our customers as not being apples to apples, but burger to burger. So for us, we think of it like you can go and take the exact same ingredients, right? And go from restaurant to restaurant and have totally different prices and end up with totally different results with the exact same ingredients.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
For us, it's like what are the things you think that you're getting? Well, you think you're getting this much siding, you think you're getting this many nails. What kind of project management leadership are you getting?
Yeah.
Right? What kind of back office support are you getting? What kind of warranty support 5 years from now are you going to get? All those things are like hidden. They're not on the quote. I think one of the ways we think about it goes back to part of our purpose. The first part I said already is transforming how homes look, feel, and perform. The other part is investing in opportunities for everyone on our team to earn, learn, grow, and build something together.
Okay. Yeah. So it's a core value kind of thing.
Yeah. It's really part of like why we're doing this business. And the third part of it is building strong partnerships together. So we think that means the manufacturers that we work with, the suppliers. I mention all of that because that ties in to pricing.
Yeah.
Right? We want employees who are great at their craft, great at their skill, and fulfilled in their job. They're making the money they need to support their family. They're getting opportunities to grow, to learn, to be challenged. All that stuff takes margin. We have to invest.
Yeah.
And it's margin that benefits the customer, right? By us reinvesting into the company.
Yeah.
They're actually going to get the best leadership in the team that's coming out to do the install. It's not just install. It's like, who's training that team?
Yeah.
Right? They're going to get warranty support 5-10 years from now from a company that, is built to last.
Yeah.
So we think of it all as like this big, enduring system.
Yeah.
Hey there. Sorry for the quick interruption, but I've got some exciting news to share with you all. I'm Cameron, Vice President of Watermark, and I couldn't resist telling you about our brand new CRM learning tool we just developed. The best part, it's completely free for you. We'll dive into essential topics like maximizing your CRM potential, automating those Monday tasks, and ultimately reaching those sales targets. If any of these resonate with you, I highly encourage you to click the description below and join us on this learning journey. I look forward to seeing you there.
I'm going to shift a little bit of gears now to the AI is a huge buzzword right now, obviously. Yeah. How are you all using AI right now in your business in a marketing sense? Like I'm more interested in the marketing sense, but it could be in other ways too.
What's AI?
Yeah,
right. Yeah, it's everywhere, right?
You've been in a rock somewhere.
Yeah. No, it's. We're using it in so many different ways.
I'd like to share one thing about AI, though, in home services. We are incorporating it into certain areas of our business, and some of them are obvious, low-hanging fruit areas, like help me rewrite this email to this person, and get this tone and understand this part. But there are other parts of this AI unknown that we're still kind of exploring. And it has, when we have gone to industry events this year, we'll meet up with other peers from other markets in other parts of the country. Yeah. And what we're hearing is leads are down. So something is happening on the digital side with AI and Google and the algorithms where the web leads and the Google ads aren't performing like we've been expecting them. Or the common thing that we're hearing at these conferences are, I keep pumping more money in and I'm paying more. The cost per lead and cost per acquisition is going down.
Yep.
So the question remains to us as a challenge is, what are we going to do to not just rely on digital? How are we going to take control of our own lead flow? And so for us, that means looking outside of what we have built on, which was a strong digital presence, a strong website. We want to keep that going as a baseline because it's top of funnel. People are learning by searching, but it's also restructuring that website in a way that LLMs will read it.
Yeah.
We're not there yet, but that's what's happening. And then the next thing is raising our game in the in-person experience.
Okay.
And so that means we've heard people say AI is going to make you be your better version of yourself. And it's going to take those low-level tasks off your plate. It's also going to raise the game for the communication standard in person as we riff with the homeowner, as we do a needs analysis in the home and understand what they're looking for. Yes, they came in, typed on a Google search, new windows, new siding on the front range. Ta-da, here we are at the door, but we still need to take them that step further. Maybe they already decided 60% of the people understand who they want to go with before they go with them based on these web searches. But what are we doing in the in-person conversation? So that happens on a marketing level too. In-person marketing, what does that look like? And also in the sales experience, the in-person, in-home sales experience, where we're trying to raise our game, training people how to communicate.
Oh, the crazy thing, right?
Like do the 10-step process, do a needs analysis, and lean into the product knowledge that is already available online, but then also be the in-person human AI agent, you know?
Yeah, I think what we're seeing is when we go out and meet with a homeowner, we have a lot less homeowners who don't have any idea what something should cost, or they don't have like any education. Because a lot of them, web traffic is down, right, to individual websites, but homeowners are more educated than they've ever been. And that's because a lot of times they're turning to, their AI of choice, be it ChatGPT or Claude, Perplexity, whatever. And they're asking the questions and it's giving them information. And so they're better prepared, which is great. We want to close that information asymmetry gap. We want homeowners to get that information. That's why we're there. But it's also why it's still important, even in the age of AI, to keep our website updated and to keep refreshing the content and putting, in all the more informative stuff on there to include things that they want to know, like pricing.
Yeah. And we know single page visits are going to continue to diminish as AI search continues to be a piece of the conversation. Something that we really think is actually happening, though, is the fluff matrix are just being taken away, because when somebody's actually wanting to go get that information, they are going to go to a page and click on it. It's just the people that were really trying to figure things out, and just like the hard all these bounces that were there and all that stuff is happening because they were just trying to educate themselves, where now they've already educated themselves with an AI search. And now they're like, okay, I need to start making decisions. So now I'm going to go to Bellwether to actually get a human to give me the quote, or to, well, that was another kind of piece of this question. I know you guys use 3D, high-end 3D modeling to show them that's a little bit of an AI kind of thing. So that was my next kind of question. That I think it's great that you guys are having the conversation about how the human element is. You're almost doubling down on it.
We are, yeah.
But you still use tools like that to
Our
help.
Baseline is digital.
Help you to use technology to.
We have a tech
this is how it could look.
Yeah.
This is.
We have some strong thoughts about it. We think AI is powerful and really great. We love it. We also we think it should make our jobs easier and more efficient. Not replace humans, but empower humans to do their jobs better.
Yeah.
So we lean into it from that perspective of saying what are the tools we can use that help humans lean into the human element.
Yeah, right.
Instead of being stuck in the tedious things.
And the repetitive, tedious things.
The AI can do so well to help us, like, whether that's in the office or sitting there and creating a design or what.
Yeah. And I'm assuming, like, you're using it to help, obviously, quote and do make those things a little bit faster, better, easier.
Yeah, there are components where it's built into certain aspects of that process, that workflow.
Some of the quoting is still on the edge.
Yeah.
We're not quoting everything
It's not
like
100%
that.
there yet.
No, and it because what we're doing is custom windows, retrofitting windows, retrofitting homes for remodeling.
Yeah.
There's a level of AI that we're still looking at. Our peers, we're in several rooms and conferences. Peers are doing AI, and there is a baseline that we're looking at. But there is a level that we're not there yet.
Yeah.
I want to say that.
Yeah. I would think of it more like some of the tools that we're using are, AI can come in and help you build certain things, build the tool. One example is, how AI can come in and help you just take a picture of the front of someone's house and give it a prompt about how they'd like for it to look different. And now they can see it really clearly in a matter of seconds. Right? Really helps with that visualization. Another thing is more on the project management side, using a tool. We use a tool called Company Cam, and that's something where a project manager can walk around and film, and be filming what he's looking at and narrating what he's seeing.
Okay, yeah.
And then AI will go and process it, right, and create lists of all the things that he said, and pull little screen shares from the times when he said them, and turn that into usable feedback. Basically. So that's just one example. Powerful tool. There are others, but I think what we're doing is staying active in these groups and among our peers across the country to really just learn what's out there and try it out, try things out.
And there are some really powerful AI quoting software that we know people are using.
How are you keeping your voice authentic in the marketing side with, obviously AI can have its quirks that don't make, your company sound like it's human. What are you all doing to keep Bellwether's voice?
Well,
there's some smiles there, so I'm feeling like there's been some funny.
We're playing with it, so
just play with it. I think that the really cool thing about AI is it adapts. It adapts to you, and the more that you use it, and the more you get familiar with it, the more you kind of learn how you can change it, and adapt it to you. And it's you've probably heard this. People, I hear this all the time. AI right now is the worst it's ever going to be. Meaning it's always just going to keep getting better. Right? Like the amount of progress they've made in the last 8 months, dwarfs the progress they made in the previous 8 years. Right? So it's the worst it's ever going to be. And the more that you play with it, the more it learns. We really like Claude, and we like the projects within Claude. And one of the things that we like to do is little secrets, tricks of the trade is we start by just talking to it, just going back and forth. Having it go and learn about our brand. And then we go and correct it. And then we go and take the updated memory and export a file and put it in a new conversation and start talking to it, and then give it some more information and correct it. Just keep iterating over and over and over. And it's just fun because you can end up with your voice a voice that's much more true and authentic to your brand.
But a lot of our assets aren't AI generated. So we've opened up magazines, we've seen other people's ads. We're not doing that.
Yeah, we've seen people advertising with AI generated pictures
of a home that's gorgeous, but
things like that.
It's not a home.
And that's cool. That's a neat functionality. We don't do that. Everything that we do really actually is pretty authentic to the customers we actually serve. Yeah. So we're still going out there and, sending a photographer, sending a videographer. We're still capturing the content, We'll go and actually write the article and then we'll upload it to AI and ask it don't rewrite this, but say how can I improve this? For tips, things like that. So a lot of the creation stuff is still actually, again, going authentic to humans, right? Yeah. And then leaning into AI for help to make it better.
I mean, we see the pushback in the world today of the AI slop conversation where people want to see authenticity. They know the difference between AI and authentic. So, I will as a marketer, right? I know that that authentic voice holds a lot of value that AI is just not there yet. It may get there, but until that time, we believe that to be the truth. There's authenticness to going and taking the picture, sitting in front of people and actually having conversations. So,
Well, it helps first that, we really spent a lot of time defining what our brand is.
Yeah, we have a brand book.
Yeah.
I think that's important for people who are working with a marketing agency to do. Yeah. Really spend time defining what your brand is. What's your brand's authentic voice? Yeah. What values do you bring? What are you, what value do you bring to the homeowner? Yeah. All of that. I think it's important to do that. If you can put that stuff together, and you can then work off of that, then AI can help you create some really great stuff that's authentic, make sure it removes the dashes. But,
I mean, this is we hear this all the time. So I appreciate this because you can go make a logo with AI in a couple of minutes and come up with something kind of good and be like, okay, I'm done with it. But to what you're saying is there's more to it than that. There's your brand voice and what does that represent and the background behind that and building something that's really great. And I think people recognize that when they look at a brand compared to somebody who just I made an AI logo and there it is. There's no real thought behind it. It's just put together. So I appreciate that. And I hope the audience hears that conversation too. As a marketer, I appreciate it.
No, I think it's so important. I mean, it's you can't discount AI and its value, but in the same regard, you also can't discount real artists. Their value.
Yeah. Okay. To wrap things up here, what is the biggest marketing challenge that you guys have had this year and what was it and how you are working to overcome it, or have you already overcome it?
I think I shared it earlier, was that when we've gone to these conferences this year, across the board, a lot of people are saying digital leads are down.
Yeah.
So that's been tough. Google is changing. The way people are using Google is changing. The amount of money we are paying Google is the same, and it's not giving us the same results.
Yeah.
So that has been a challenge. And we are diversifying our lead generation efforts outside of Google because of that.
Yeah,
that's right.
Taking an omni-channel approach, it sounds which is
we've talked about this in the past a lot. So I think it's all the more important these days to lean into omni-channel.
Yeah.
But it's also all the more important these days to work with a good agency that understands AI. Yeah. Because our lead flow has been down, digital is down, but at the same time, the quality of the leads is probably up because, like I said, homeowners are coming in more informed. Yeah. Right. And
it's kind of what we were talking about a little bit earlier is the slop matrix
Yeah.
are kind of getting taken out.
Well,
because people are coming in more informed and they know what they're looking for when they're going to go find somebody to execute. They
That's
already
the
are
thing.
informed.
That's the thing. Like,
Yeah.
if you go and look now at like the referring domain,
Yeah.
it's bringing people to the web page.
Yeah.
It's like not coming from Google
Yeah.
anymore. Now it's coming from ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Right. Which means they're asking questions.
Yeah.
They're searching. They're getting the blip answer. And then they're looking at the sources.
Yeah.
And they're clicking on your website.
One interesting thing, we literally just came back from a digital conference, and the presenter was talking about this kind of conversation. And the thing that I found really interesting is Google is still dominating even the AI search conversation. Like, they still are getting, it was like 100 billion searches, and like Chat GTP was getting like 10. So they're like a blip. And his point was to say, like, Google has everything to lose. Like, they were just so much of a dominant factor of it. So people are still using Google. They're just searching in a different way, because as we know, the AI search is now in everybody's search window in Google. So you're getting the AI response first.
I think it's changed the way that I search for things. Like, I have noticed that instead of searching for terms, I find myself typing a prompt. In Google
context.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm typing context and then my question. And I'm defaulting to the AI result and reading that before I go look for a website.
I also think it's changing organic. People are looking for peer-to-peer references. So we've been working on reviews.
Yeah, the referral is still huge.
Google reviews and review sites and other sites where you would be organically referred.
Yeah.
Which also means we have to provide the service, which would give you the 5-star.
And it's weird, but with all the advancements that we've had with AI just in the last 24 months, there's almost sort of a little bit of a backlash to digital too.
Yeah.
So we find that there's all the more reason to couple. It's important to do the digital, but to couple it with face-to-face marketing, So getting out there in front of people.
Doing a lot of events.
Doing events.
That's something you didn't do before. So that's
doing events, the omnichannel stuff.
I guess you've heard the term mom and pop business.
Yeah.
Well, we're expanding. Our top line is growing. We're scaling pretty fast, and yet marketing has been the last thing that we have delegated or given out to. So we're still the brand.
I would say in a business like ours, marketing is still one of the most important functions.
Yeah.
So, it's really easy to overlook marketing, and a lot of people don't spend on marketing. But I think it's actually one of the most important functions of a business like ours. Yeah. And working with trusted partners is probably one of the more important things you can do too. I think a home services business, home renovation business, those kind of companies should be spending 10% at least of their, revenue on marketing. Not just like ads on Google, but across the board. If you want to get out there and serve the community, you need to get in front of more people.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, you are in a business that you have to have leads flowing through.
Oh yeah, and it's new.
It's got to be constantly flowing. You can't have dead air. It's got to be the pipeline has to be full. That's right. Yeah. So, thank you guys so much for coming on, and I think everybody got some great knowledge from you all. So thanks so much. We'll maybe in a year from now or something, we'll get you back on and have another conversation about what's changed from then to now.
Oh, sure. Excited because I bet a lot will change.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you so much for watching and subscribing to the Watermark Watercooler. We value your opinion and want to deliver the best content possible. To do that, we need your comments and feedback. What do you want to see or learn? Tools, techniques, behind the scenes? Comment below and make your idea our next video.